We're turning our attention to Transparency International's latest ranking, especially for Nigeria, which we understand Nigeria scored 27 out of 100, which is 1 point down from what we had the previous year. But in terms of ranking, it would seem that we've fallen 14 places, even though some people argue that. But joining us right now to discuss this latest rankings is Mr. Gbolahan Adeniro, who is a legal practitioner, rule of law advisor in the Office of the Vice President in the Presidency. They say it's one presidency. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I have Chris Mustafa Wonkobia Jr., who is a lawyer and also convener, Country First Movement. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
To be here.
He used to be a member of the APC as well, but he's finally left. Just, you know, our viewers should know where it is that you're coming from. But looking at this latest ranking, what ran through your mind? Some people have said this is not fair. We're talking about perception. Perception is way different from reality.
I think that oftentimes when we engage in this narrative, we fail to understand the fact that at the core of what you do with corruption and against corruption, it's first the perception of not only the society, the media, and indeed the world that is watching. And interestingly, we warned that this would happen. It's just about the fact that, unfortunately, rather than predicate our narrative on truth, people pander, people politic, and then we have so much of propaganda rather than factual debates. That is why people are surprised. I am not surprised. The truth is that you so much sound and fury and practically little or nothing. That's exactly what we've had in the fight against corruption. The world has been watching us, and people who have been critical of government, because we must do justice to what affects our country as a people. If we truly love Nigeria, and if we truly care about how this country works, the narrative must remove from partisanship to how we make our country great again. And that is where I think that those who are on the side of government and those who are on the side of country and indeed our people must begin to look at these issues dispassionately. Has there been noise about anti-corruption and a war against corruption? Yes. Have we critically seen effective fight against corruption? The answer is no. And I say this advisedly. Some have told me that several funds have been recovered. From who? A court in Lagos has asked the federal government to divulge. Tell us the names of those from whom you recovered these monies. Up until now, it's not been. And then one other fundamental, which of course the presidency hasn't denied. The president told the Catholic bishops who went visiting him about 3 weeks ago that he will have to look at his team again. That is nepotism. Nepotism is corruption. Cronyism is corruption. Mockiness in terms of information dissemination is corruption. And unfortunately, all we've done is talk about money, who has recovered and who has not recovered. When you alter the wheel of governance to favor your party or any person, it is corruption. And these are the fundamentals that the Transparency International, these are the issues that they looked at. You know, when you talk about corruption perception, you're looking at has this government allowed for the rule of law in all respect to determine what happens?
Well, the man who advises on rule of law is right here with us, and I'm sure you can provide an answer to that. I mean, what are your thoughts? The government seems to be saying that let us have at the back of our minds that this is a perception report, not a reality report. Is that where you stand as well?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that, I mean, that's the headline. Headline is that Nigeria has dropped on the Transparency International rankings. But what is the story? And I think to know what the story is, one has to go into the actual report and see how Transparency International compiles, you know, its index. And of course, Transparency International relies on 9 other indexes and then averages it out and then comes up with a final figure. If you go to those 9 indexes, Nigeria actually improved on 4 of them, remained the same on another 4, and then declined in 1 of them. Now, on the rule of law index, funny enough, Nigeria improved. There's a World Justice Project Rule of Law Index. Nigeria improved on that. There's a Bertelsmann Foundation Transformation Index. Nigeria improved significantly on that. The African Development Bank Country Assessment Report, Nigeria improved on that. And the World Economic Forum report as well, Nigeria improved. Where Nigeria declined is the EIU, the European Intelligence Unit Country Service Report. And we are currently engaging them to understand what it is, what happened. We looked at the questions they asked, and those questions to us appear to be things that we do have in place, like questions such as, do you have processes that govern accountability of funds? Is there an independent judiciary, and so on? And we feel that the answers to those questions are, easy answers. So we're currently talking to see how we can give them more information, perhaps, to inform subsequent rankings. We always say that perception lags behind reality. I agree that perception is very important because, that's what defines a lot of things. But it takes time for the actual reality to become the perception of the day. And this is something...
We'll actually expatiate a bit more on that when we come back from this break. Please stay with us.